Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today I wanted to talk about pushing through discomfort, what that can mean on the journey, what that can look like, and how you can work on your ability to carry on with things even if you're feeling very uncomfortable. But before we go on, please subscribe to the channel, let us know what you think, and also let us know what you want us to cover and talk more about on this channel. So, the very first thing that I want to mention was that with discomfort and feeling like you cannot carry on with your day, or even if it's like a simple task such as uh, cooking food, right, or cleaning your room, that can feel incredibly difficult to do because you're feeling very uncomfortable, right? But the very first thing that it's important to highlight, which does not get talked about enough, is also looking at your perspectives of discomfort itself and how you are conceptualizing it in your head, because discomfort, mental, physical, and emotional, is for us it feels like this permanent barrier that we cannot overcome, right? And yes, it is uncomfortable, not denying that, but what we make it out to be is this like bigger than life, larger than life kind of force that is that's not overcomable, right? And it seems like this thing that's going to stick and we just cannot do anything about it, and we already give up, right? And when we kind of like when we see it as this larger than life thing, we're already like losing a battle that hasn't even started yet, right? Because we've already accepted and attached this element of defeat and loss to us, right, in this entire struggle. So looking at that perspective is really important, because what is discomfort? It's an uncomfortable physical sensation that happens in your body, or mentally it feels like there's this kind of like pressure on your brain a little bit. Or when you're emotionally uncomfortable, it's like there's this kind of like pressure on your chest, right? At times people describe it as a balloon in their chest. At times people say that it's something like someone today said it's like fireworks going on inside them, right? So it's these sensations in the body that we're afraid of, and what we're doing is we're making our entire life and our even our physical movement very conditional on whether we are feeling discomfort, right? We think that we can only or we should only do things if physical, mental, emotional discomfort is completely absent, because and it's a very perfectionistic way of trying to approach your life, because you're trying to derive this maximum level of satisfaction and happiness out of things. And when you are not having that perfectionistic state of happiness or satisfaction or that just right feeling, you're automatically discarding it to the trash, right? You're automatically putting it to the side and being like, okay, this is not worth it, or this is just not great at all, right? We're completely diminishing the anything good or anything useful that might come out of something, right? So, um, and it's this idea around exhaustion, that feeling exhausted and feeling tired is a really bad thing, and that can relate to many themes in many different ways. Harm OCD sufferers might think that exhaustion is going to lead to them losing control. Sleep OCD sufferers might feel like not being tired might make them not have good sleep, and therefore they can then completely lose track of their life. Health OCD sufferers will think that exhaustion is going to run their body down, and they're going to start developing illnesses and diseases and things like that. So it can literally apply to different themes in different ways, and but exhaustion is then seen as this absolute kind of threat to reality. But we can see how like nonsensical that is, because exhaustion and being tired is inherently like a part of life, right? In your 24 hours, you will get exhausted because you're going to be awake in 24 hours. Even if you're not physically exerting yourself, if you're just awake, sitting in a room for 20, like for let's say 13 hours or something like that, 13 14 hours, your body is going to feel tired even with that, right? So that's going to come naturally anyway. But then what we're seeing is that, oh, I don't want to overexert myself. That's coming from a fear of being overwhelmed, fear of being burnt out kind of perspective over here as well. So I mean, exhaustion is going to naturally come whether you like try to avoid it or not. It's going to happen anyway, and you have to think about it as well. you're right now, when you are not trying to push yourself in life, you are already feeling mental, emotional, physical discomfort anywhere, right? But along with that, you not pushing yourself is also then leading to you not achieving anything, you not going towards your life goals, you not building your life, you not being constructive, you not being productive, right? And which is, of course, I mean, we're not going down the route of like, oh, your achievements define you, of course, not that. But what we're saying is that obviously that's if we're not productive, if we're not constructed in life, if we don't structure our routine, we don't get anywhere in life. And therefore human beings start to feel very unhappy, unsatisfied, dissatisfied, or unsatisfied, and they feel like they're wasting their life away, which is, I mean, in some ways, yes, they are as well, because they're really not doing the things that they really want to do in life, right? So these things then also lead to procrastination, and procrastination is like a classic comfort trap, because it, like, when you're procrastinating these days, what people usually do is they sit on their phone and they're like scrolling on their phone, or they go on YouTube, or they're watching Netflix or something like that. What that does is it puts your brain on like autopilot, and it suspends like active thinking, because even active thinking feels like there's a pressure on the brain and you have to do something about it. Like, I was speaking to someone and I was saying that even something like booking a holiday, right? Especially if booking, like traveling is something that scares you. Now, when you're sitting and trying to figure out what dates do I want to go on, what airline, what hotels do I book, what places do I want to see, there's active thinking involved, and there's like figuring things out that's involved over there. And it feels like there's a certain pressure on the brain when you're doing it. And procrastination helps you avoid that. Well, it's not really help, it's a bad thing, but procrastination helps you avoid that even like pressure on the brain, and it feels like that you don't need to do it. So you are then looking for ways and means to avoid, again, discomfort itself, because you're seeing discomfort as a threat to your supposed potential perfect state of happiness and comfort and satisfaction in life, right? But what we have to start to make room for is feeling exhausted, feeling uncomfortable, feeling any kind of discomfort while also doing things. Because when you're doing things, you're not going to be having this like, oh, perfect, like no problems at all, no discomfort, no annoyance or frustration at all. That's not how it's going to work. What is like, what are jobs? Jobs are feeling stressed out or feeling like there's problem solving that's going to happen on a daily basis, right? There's something that needs to be figured out. There's a pressure that you have to exert on your brain and on your physical capacity, right? That's where you start to achieve things. But if we also flip the perspective on that, exhaustion and being tired is also not from a point of like being a complete workaholic, but just from a point of view of that exhaustion and tiredness is also a sign for the human brain that it has worked and it has done something. At the end of the day, when we come home tired, the reason that people feel okay with that is because that's a sign that they have really put themselves to work, and they have really done something to try to go towards something. They've pushed themselves, right? And then they start the next day, and that is a signal to the brain that you're moving forward as well, right? So exhaustion and discomfort and feeling tired are, again, they're not inherently threats to the body, right? They're not threats to your brain, they're not threats to your happiness at all. In fact, they are signals and signs that there's progress, there's momentum, there's hard work, and there's drive and passion. That's where the exhaustion and the tiredness is coming from, right? So looking at those perspectives is key. The gym is like that. Gym is a classic example with that. When you go to the gym and you come home and your muscles are sore, and the next day you're having, after leg day especially, if you're having trouble moving your legs, that's a sign that you push yourself. That's a sign that your muscles are changing and growing, right? So these are things that we have to look at when we're looking at discomfort and trying to push through things. We also have to see how we are seeing discomfort itself. What do we see it as? We see it as this damaging kind of force in life, but it's not a damaging force at all, right? And then the second part is then also then being able to make tweaks to your life. Often with not pushing through discomfort comes really bad life structure as well, which means that if you're working from home, especially, you're spending, or even if you're not working from home, as long as you're home, you're spending a lot of time in your bed or your couch. You're not really you're putting off tasks at home, you're putting off like work related stuff, you're not making commitments, you're not making commitments with family or friends. You're basically putting off like life goals, and you're putting off, not even if they're not goals, because I'm not over here talking just about like oh, I want to build a business kind of thing. No, I mean, even meeting your friends and spending time with your friends is a life goal, right? That's also like a daily goal kind of thing, because that's what nourishes your relationships, that's what keeps them afresh, that's what keeps them going. I speak to so many people who don't meet their friends. They have friends, but they don't meet them. And that, I mean, when you reduce your life to just like one or two things, automatically it'll make room for being more obsessions as well, because then you have plenty of time to like also think about all your fears and try to figure them out. And at the same time, there's a certain dissatisfaction that starts to build up without us realizing, because um, I've not come across anyone who says that when I meet my friends, I don't feel fulfilled at all. I mean, of course, not coming from an OCD perspective of like I don't feel connection to them and I want to feel connected. That's a separate fear. But generally speaking, human beings feel fulfilled when they're around loved ones and friends and family and things like that, right? That's how they usually feel. And if we put that out of our life, you're obviously going to feel a little lonely. You're going to feel like you don't have anyone to rely on, and you're going to then only obsess about your fear, because certain important aspects of your life are kind of like dull and they are dormant. So it's our job to kind of like revive them. If you're working from home, I would suggest like strictly do not take your laptop or your phone to your bed. Keep it strictly just on your desk. On my work desk, which is right behind over here, I my laptop always stays on my desk. The charger remains next to the socket on the work desk. My phone charger remains there as well. I do not take them out ever, because I know that just from a life structure, human beings get very comfortable with laptops in bed and the phone in your bed, and then the socket that it gets attached to is also right next to the bed, and it makes for a very lazy mindset and very lazy lifestyle. So I never do that. I do want to do a post as well at some point, by the way, of this like just work structure that I've put for myself, because I think it really helps keep me on my feet and not like sag into this like extremely lethargic lifestyle. The other thing is that not only you should start saying yes to commitments, but also take initiative yourself. If people are not reaching out to make plans with you, and if you are someone who doesn't meet people often, then obviously they also will not reach out that often to you. But start reaching out yourself. Take that initiative yourself. That's so important, because when you show your brain that you're the one taking initiative and putting yourself in that corner, that oh, now I'm committing and taking initiative, so I have to show up, then you give yourself no other option but to be there, no matter how you're feeling. Then even if you don't feel like it, you're still there. And that's another very important thing, not taking cues from your emotions, because if you take cues only from your emotions on how you're feeling and if you really want to be there or not, or if you really want to do something or not, then you will end up not doing most things, right? If you're taking just cues from emotion. If you think from a point of view of, okay, is it something that will be, from a objective logical perspective, will this be good for me, or will this be good for, let's say, the friendship to just catch up, even if I don't completely feel like it? Most of the time the answer is yes, right? And I have not come across anyone who says that I went and it was just completely 100% horrible. No, most people say that, yeah, I pushed myself even though I didn't feel like it, and actually when I was there, I had a good time. I wasn't expecting to have a good time. Yes, I had triggers. Yes, this happened. Yes, that happened. But it wasn't that bad. And so that can really, in a sense, like revive and rejuvenate you just like internally, because it's something that you've just been putting off for like so long. Taking initiative and also volunteering in activities yourself, like even around the house. If someone If someone needs their car fixed or something, volunteer and say, okay, I'll go get the car fixed for you, right? Volunteer and participate, because that's also another good way of putting yourself in a corner and not giving yourself the option to like dart and avoid discomfort, and it then keeps you on your feet, which is good, of course. um, this in turn also helps with working on recovery when you are uncomfortable as well, because what we're often doing is we're only waiting to work on recovery when we're feeling completely uh, good. But then what also happens is that when we're feeling really good, nobody really wants to work on recovery, because people want to cherish that good moment. They feel like trying to poke the bear is going to bring up all the anxiety and the discomfort again, so they kind of don't want to do it. So then it becomes like, yeah, I'm going to, but then you don't end up doing it. So that's another important thing, that do your homework, even if you're feeling quite uncomfortable. Of course, there's a caveat in that, which is like, if you are feeling super triggered, do not try sit down and try to dispute or do an exposure right in that moment, because if you're feeling particularly triggered and doing those things, then you're trying to get rid of anxiety and trying to calm yourself down again. So that obviously doesn't work that well. And the last thing that I really wanted to mention was one of the most important things over here is then self accountability, because I've done calls with people on this before. Like you can have multiple calls on with people trying to explain how discomfort relates to OCD, how they need to push themselves, how they need to trying to break down perspectives, trying to break down beliefs, trying to give behavioral recommendations and whatnot. At the end of the day, if outside of the phone calls, if you do not hold yourself accountable to it, nothing will change. If you are lenient on yourself and you're constantly again taking cues from emotions and being like, no, today I'm tired, or right now I don't feel like it, right now I'm not in the mood, right now I'm a little anxious, right now I'm a little triggered, no, today I'm feeling a little demotivated, today I don't feel a little brave. If you are then lenient on yourself, then the door to leniency is basically this, like, I don't know, huge gaping hole in the life of you as a person, right? Because then you are just a lenient person on yourself, and there will always be a reason as to why you don't want to do something. There will always be a reason. There will be some important work meeting the following day that you wouldn't want to do something. There would be you're planning to have kids, or you have or you have kids and you want to be there for them. It's like, no, it's an important day for them. You're getting married, you're going for a job interview, you're applying for university, you have a birthday, you like, there will always be something that's going to be like, no, but today I don't think it's a good day. So really important to keep in mind those things, because if you don't then hold yourself accountable to the advice and the homework, no change is made, and nothing changes if nothing changes. I really do believe in that saying as well. So I hope this video helps in terms of understanding what pushing through discomfort entails. And again, to reiterate, like, one of the most important things over here is also looking at perspectives around discomfort. Because if you don't look at your perspective of discomfort itself and how you see it, then you're missing one of the things. You're ignoring one of the things that's really holding you back in terms of trying to overcome and push through that discomfort. So let me know how if this helps, and if you have any questions after this. Bye.